So section 3 is the first year of producing,
Yes.
or as I call it, throw away your first 100. So on Gear Sluts, which I'm a member, right?
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to everybody who's on there visiting here. But on that, it's very common that someone will come on and go, oh yeah, I want to become a music producer and I want to do this. What gear do I need? What do I do? And how do I do this? And my advice has always been make 100 songs and throw them away. Just throw them away. They're not good. I know you think they're good. They're not good. Nobody knocks it out of the park their first 100 times. So you spend a year.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, 365 days, that means you're making one song every 3.65 days.
Yes.
Anybody can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times in your first year, you're getting closer to that one a day kind of thing, especially towards the end of the first year.
Mm-hmm.
But your first 100 are going to suck. Let's be honest. Nobody's good at it when they start. So you make your first 100, you show them to nobody. But what you do is you spend those first 100 trying to improve upon the last one. So you make your first one, it's terrible. All right, what did you learn? What went wrong? Make the second one. It's going to be terrible, but those first things will be fixed. And by the time you're done, you'll have gotten the suck out of your producing. That's how you do it. I mean, that's the goal of every producer. Is you want to one up the last production. You always have to evolve. Why are you laughing?
Because I distinctly remember in college you trying to impress me with the stuff you did when you were like 15 and 18 and whatnot.
Yeah, because
And
there was a lot of promise.
That after you tried to impress me with it, then you were like, yeah, no, that wasn't too good. Don't listen to those anymore.
It's kind of true. It's a lesson you have to learn the hard way. Keep in mind, I had only been producing a few years when I went to school, and we'll talk about school in our section 6.
Yes.
But yeah, so when you're first starting, it's all about just get the amount of gear that you need to do to get started. So that means you need a pair of speakers.
Uh-huh.
You don't need studio monitors. You can go to Goodwill and buy a bookshelf speaker system. You just need something to hear it back.
Uh-huh.
I would recommend a pair of headphones, even earbuds. You'll need some kind of microphone. You'll need some software and a computer.
Okay.
And you're going to make some beats. A lot of guys, when they start, they make hip-hop beats. It's a good way to start because you're making a full production minus the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, your first 100 are going to be awful. But every one of them, you'll find things that went wrong, and you move on to the next one, and you pay attention to those things, and eventually you have after having done it 100 times, it gets a lot easier. Not just easier, but the quality goes up. It gets easier to make a good result.
I'd say it gets easier to make a listenable result, but if you're not a good musician to begin with, I'm not sure it's going to be a good result.
You're very quiet. Yeah. Well, the upside to doing it this way, and with hip hop beats, because you're not playing.
Uh-huh.
And I really thoroughly recommend learning an instrument.
Sure.
I mean, take keyboard lessons. Take them, right? Because you really need to know how to put things into the right key. You need to have a concept of rhythm and form. And these things you can do by studying and reading, and there's all sorts of good free resources out there.
Yes.
But nothing's going to focus that down like a teacher. A teacher will put it all into order in a digestible way, where the internet just throws everything at you all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're going to want to learn how to play some piano. You're going to want to learn how to maybe play some guitar if you're into guitar music. But you do need to know how to play both, at least into a rudimentary level. You need to be able to know how to spot a C on a piano. Because when you're entering notes, you could do it the deadmau5 way, and we've all seen those ads. But you don't want to do that. You want to know how to play the chord.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that will help you later on when speed becomes a concern.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to click in a bunch of notes into a piano roll, which is how I started, that doesn't really, it's just super slow.
Right.
And I still click notes into piano rolls, but I would much rather fire up a keyboard, pop the notes in, clean up the performance, and then just have the data rather than trying to enter it by manual means.
Sure.
But ultimately, the big thing about this right now is, in your first year producing, people may sound interested in what you're doing, but
They're not.
they're really not. They're being nice. They're being supportive. They're your friends. But it's just not listenable, right? If you play it in the car, you'll go, holy cow, the bass is out of whack. Holy cow, it sounds muddy all of a sudden. You're learning. You're learning to look out for those things in the room. And then the great thing about today, though, is that you can do it on maybe $200-$300 of, if that. You could get away with even less. There were kids in the neighborhood who like pirated a copy of Fruity Loops, and they were using the Rock Band microphone because that's a functional USB microphone.
Nice.
And that's how they got started. And they wanted to show me the results, and it was awful. But, you know, even me, I'm going, yeah, man, keep at it. Keep at it.
Yeah.
That's my way of saying you got an idea,
but
you don't have a result yet.
No.
So I'm curious to hear what you have to think about it. Are you just now starting producing? Are you here to learn how to do that? Have you been around a long time? You're just making sure I'm not spreading BS. What are your thoughts? What are you working on? Share some links. Let's turn this comment. Show us what you actually think is worth showing. Now, if it's in that first 100, don't leave a comment just saying, yeah, I'm still working on my first 100. But if you're working on 101, 102, yeah, let me hear it. Let's hear what you're doing. And leave a comment below, with a link to it.
Yeah.
And I will also say this: the other thing is don't qualify your music. I get a lot of this.
Yeah, don't qualify it, just let it be.
Well, I just started a little while ago and I'm not very good, and I'm going, well then why are you even sharing this with me?
Yeah.
Don't share this with me if it's not very good. Share only the stuff that's very good with me.
Yeah, you tell people it's not very good and they're going to go into it thinking, "Oh, this isn't going to be good." So, they've kind of prejudged it without hearing it. So
Right.
don't do that. Just don't do that.
So that's your first year of producing. After that, you're probably about ready to start working with other people. At that point you'll know you'll know all of your equipment inside and out.
Yes.
And that part's really hard to get in your first couple years. But once you have that, you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Awesome. What's next?